Ayan na.
Oh, they're dimming the lights. The show must be starting. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, this have been waiting
Welcome one and
for.
all to the Opera Epicles. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
There, Lynette.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but
Whatever.
now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Nako po.
Good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye.
Ito na.
A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless.
Oh, levitation, nice. Could it be magic now? Oh, telepathic. It's actually basic, eh?
But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's
Kapatid
time
lang.
for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky.
Wow, nice. Alright, that's
Using
Lynette.
this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely.
Naku po.
Right before your very eyes.
Oh, this should be according to the trailer. Teaser.
It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top.
Naku po.
Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Wow, nice.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Homer didn't seem to do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared.
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But Our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen.
Oh, hindi pa tapos.
I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Now then, let's begin. Row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide. Oh, right. Before, like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him sing.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me.
60! 59! 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right.
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head.
Tama.
I think merely
Pwede
a
mong
consequence of
bilangin
my
yung timer
identity
sa ulo mo.
Alright,
Na kailangan
you look so serious.
sumigaw.
40! 39! 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the message. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't... 25! 24!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but...
Never mind the decorations. There's...
No, that's unacceptable.
19!
It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know 10 seconds of change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping 2 people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4!
Oops! That doesn't count!
Bobo! Kaya biglang 4x's. Uh-oh. Oops.
What happened? Is this part of the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me.
Yes, that...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this. Unfortunately, the person who's in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before. I know the truth. I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Ako po.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge. That can't be right. How can Lenny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even... Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina.
I just think that he... But what Lady Farina said just now...
A kidnapping and murder carried out.
That's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
Yeah.
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But so, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And... It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. Are you willing to act as Mr. Lenny's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well.
Go.
The trial... Lenny and his troupe are all potentials. The audience may begin to...
A day isn't that long.
Order! Order! Mr. Lenny, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Lenny.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted.
Mission to speak.
In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys.
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer. Attention! Ace
Okay.
Detective Paimon has something to say!
Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney vibes to ah. Alam ko sa mga, alam ko yung mga Ace Attorney addicts dyan, nag-start na maglaro nito eh. Lalo.
But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
There you go. So, nagka-match na.
Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case.
Oh, they have a...
That's right, you tell him!
And that's... well, your denial is very... Of course I do. You're saying that he wasn't.
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof!
Well played.
Thank you.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
So, yung nag-murder kay Cowell. Okay.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able... Could there have been a third person? The deceased's name is Cowell,
Could be Cowell. Siya mismo yung nag-keep ng sa NPC.
That can't be right. The killer one!
Is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left the sound we heard may have come from a... It would have been tough for both people to... The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was a... The sound we heard may... It would have been tough for both people to... No one entered or left. The sound we heard may have come from a... Halsey's clothing... Halsey's clothing... No one entered or the... Lenny was not in the tunnel at that... Lenny was not in the tunnel. No one entered or left the... Halsey's clothing was... No one
So ito
entered
yung-
or left the opera house.
Nine sounds.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Look, since we're at a dead end, why just like the trick as it transpires?
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not...
Nako. Kailangan natin ng sagot.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Wait lang. Okay.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. No one entered or left. It would have been tough for both people.
Hindi siya sa tunnel.
No one entered or left the...
Hindi din siya pumunta ng exit.
The vase was not broken by chance.
Baka mismo yung vase na... Ano bang kinalaman dito yung vase? Tumakas siya via vase?
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please.
Oy, 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 oy.
How
Sorry na.
could a person ever be transformed? Must we real magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on it. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
Okay. So...
We are still examining the items, but we discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage.
Oh,
Each
mga
labeled.
fluids.
The notebook in his backpack, the primordial seed. The note's contents also
Baka ito
indicate that
mismo yung
Cowell
nag-ano
belonged to
sa-
an organization.
kay-
The
sa
notebook
isang
has
babae.
many entries. One of these tubes was labeled. The notes also state that as such, we believe...
Baka maaaring ito nagpa-dissolve sa...
into water?
That's
Oh.
something so ridiculous.
Nag-dissolve sila into water dahil sa mga tubes na yan.
People can become water. Does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partner?
Let's go.
Order! Order!
Doon kayo na.
It is undeniable that... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case is...
Right! Like the metal hut! That would be... Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
What could... Oh.
The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial sea should have... Now it seems like the hook... The water from the primordial sea. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic. The rope that strung the water tank up. Now it seems like the hook rope.
Okay, so baliktad.
Now it seems like the hook rope. Lynette was in the magic box on. I remember there was something else within the. Now it seems like the hook rope was. The rope that strung the. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire. I remember there was something.
Okay, so meron pang isang method para ma-solve si Hazley.
Ahem. It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Take that!
In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Ah, so dito nanggaling yung mga bump sounds.
The water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That actually links together.
There, draw.
Oh dear.
Now, it seems like his notes mentioned he had an
On that note, the guards have just... I shall now invite him on stage to...
Thank you, Your Honor. We found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience,
So may reputation na
Lydia
naman
did
tayo.
not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice capped that upon his return in cruel avarice. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously...
So hindi...
Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of...
Oh no! I can't think of anything either. Seems using the water is...
I think we've all seen it. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good. Excuse me, everyone, but I'm...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a...
Come on now, don't be silly. Once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous Come on, Lenny and Lynette, give it another go. But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should...
I understand.
So, Navia, ano nang natukoy mo?
And voila!
Oh!
Sorry for the interruption.
Tubuhay siya! So, anong totoong nangyari?
Isn't that Halsey?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What?
What?
So, ikaw pumatay kay Cowell?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
Oh! Siya pala
I
yung
heard that
NPC
Lily's
ng
show was
Mondstadt.
gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lenny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This
Okay.
time, we need to tell the entire...
Alright, so i-reach na natin yung refutation. Now it's my turn. So yung
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
Take that, Paimon!
Selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
So ito ni confirmation. Nice.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so bravo!
Yeah!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady.
Farina, now!
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the water box. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Liliane was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Liliane. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Liliane, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Liliane's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Oh, this looks like an animation from Star, really. So what now? Saying statement nandito.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell everything you know, and
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, we've been in this business.
Uh-oh.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
an outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Muli po, ito po si Ash Alba ng laging magpapaalala, kapag nasa katwiran, ipaglaban mo.